Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first intuitive video. It feels really good and kind of sad to not do the live at 5:55s, but it also gives me the opportunity to hop on at this time and share some insights. So I was just doing yoga, meditation, a little bit of light exercise outside on the patio. And I had this realization, this thought, and I've alluded to it before, but I really want to articulate it here. Everything that we've ever known and loved about spirituality and the awakening and occult and New Ageism is changing. Good old helicopter. Everything we've ever known about spirituality is changing and shifting. And this is really important because I think a lot of us, I'm 28, so I was still brought into spirituality and introduced. Maybe I'm a special case because I haven't really done any external research. I don't follow any other teachers. I don't know what the norm is that's out there. And I think that allows me to give humanity information at the level where they're at, right? Which is amazing. But if you have been following New Ageism, spirituality, the occult for your entire life or most of your life, which I'm sure that you have, we get brought into all of these practices that are already outdated. Now, the thought that came to mind was ritual and altars. Back in the day, doing rituals, you could call it spell casting, you could call it, I don't know. I don't really know what a ritual would look like because I don't do them myself. But the same thing with altars. Setting up an altar in your home, very kind of Eastern, very New Ageism, very occult. And I just thought to myself, when I was meditating out there, obviously wasn't doing a good job at it because I'm channeling rather than actually meditating. And I thought, we don't need that anymore. Like, what if, for example, you were doing a ritual which included spell casting, maybe some affirmations, maybe putting like some sort of concoction together, right? Kind of Wiccan, pagan style, to attract love. I want to attract love in my life, so I'm going to do this ritual to attract love in my life. It's outdated. It's traditional. We don't need that. Very, 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 very similar to you don't need to go to church to have a spiritual experience or to commune with God. You don't need to go to a physical building to keep up your spiritual practice. And I think no matter how religious you are or spiritual you are or open-minded you are, I think a lot of people who did used to go to church realized that going to church is no longer necessary for them to continue a spiritual connection, whatever that may mean to that person. Now, if we turn it over to the awakening and the movement and New Ageism and whatever you want to call it, I call it the awakening, we don't need these practices anymore. So let me think about another one. Right, okay, so meditation. In order to be aligned, in order to be aware of your reality, in order to be aware of your thoughts, you need to meditate for an hour a day, every day. Well, I believe that you don't need to, right? Same thing with Reiki. In order to heal yourself from the pain in your right knee, you need to think about the symbols. I think that's what Reiki is. Think about the symbols, connect to source energy, and move the symbols through your hands into that area of the body. I think that's what Reiki is. We don't need that anymore, guys. We don't need that. A lot of awakening and spiritual practices that we have grown up with, that we were introduced to, that have been out there, okay, they are still rooted in the third dimension frequency. And that's okay. Those spiritual practices have served us and helped us for hundreds, if not thousands of years as a humanity, which is amazing. but we no longer need them. And to have this huge gap in your life to say, well, chakras are now going away. We no longer need Reiki. We no longer need to sit down and write out affirmations to manifest. We no longer need to set up rituals or even a structure in our day to get in touch with our spirituality. So getting rid of that huge gap of what spirituality or what connecting to pure source energy is or looks like or what we need to do to get there. Letting go of all of that stuff, how do we fill that gap in 2021 to really allow ourselves to step into 5D frequency without holding ourselves back with these conditions? And it's so funny because this is kind of what I've been building up to in the last couple of podcasts, the last couple of, live videos. It's been about living life in freedom without any conditions on ourselves. So get this, think about this. This is a spiritual condition that we get trapped in and we put ourselves in. I will only be healed in my body and soul if I go and see a Reiki practitioner or an energy healer once a week for the next 4 weeks. I will only be aligned in my life if I meditate for 2 hours every day. The second that you don't do those things, I will only live a clean lifestyle and lose weight and be more aligned to my psychic abilities once I only eat a vegan diet. Right? These are all spiritual conditions that we put on ourselves that literally make no sense anymore. None of those things are needed now. Not to undermine the work that we put into it, okay? Because it does take work, and it's great to have a structure or a container that allow us to navigate through the complexities and the layers of different dimensions, frequencies, vibrations, and what have you. Okay, so I'm not trying to undermine all of the work that all of us have really put into to awakening. But moving forward, we don't need that. We don't need to go to church to connect with God. We don't need to eat vegan to have a high vibration. We don't need to do Reiki in order to heal ourselves. We don't need to have a ritual in order to attract love. We don't. We don't need any of that. So where are we going? If we don't have any of that, you can still use it. But sometimes, like say for example, I'm only able to communicate with my guides through my pendulum. I'm only able to get answers through oracle cards or tarot cards. Do you see how limiting that can be? Do you see how we create spiritual conditions on ourselves that actually hold us back in the long term? The answer here, okay, the thing that I wanted to present to you guys is every element of spirituality moving forward, and these younger kids are blowing my mind with their understanding around all of this. Where we're going moving forward is everything at an energetic level, everything at a vibrational level. You don't need to set up an altar to open a portal. You don't need to write down an affirmation to manifest what you desire. You don't need to know Reiki to heal your body. The one aspect that absolutely, I was just about to say it takes time and energy, but it doesn't take time or space to do this. I was about to say that the one aspect that we do really need to focus on in a traditional sense is letting go of all of the energetic baggage and the layers that we hold around our body and our auras, right? Because the more and more we let go of those layers, the more clear we become on manifesting, navigating, and not needing the physical to anchor us into those practices. I was about to say that we really do need to spend time working on the deeper, low vibration, disharmonic, contractual stuff, the limiting beliefs that we hold in order to get to a place of clarity. Now, before in the past, if you wanted to work on your limiting beliefs, on your conditions, on your control issues, on your PTSD, whatever it may be, you would have to seek out a counselor or a healer or a diet or do these things to help you let go of those layers and move on. You still don't need to do that. Once again, I'm not undermining a practice, and I'm not saying in my own life that I don't get numerology readings or astrology readings or whatever it may be just because of my own curiosity. So I don't want to undermine that. I just want to say where we're going. Where I think that we're going to be in 10 years is all of the spiritual practices like tarot cards, like Reiki, like, chakra, scanning and all of that. It's all going to be a thing of the past. Even, believe it or not, near and dear to my heart, past life regression. It's going to be a thing of the past because it requires time and space. I know we're not there yet. I'm not there yet in my own life, but I know that we're all going to get to a point in our reality where we can say, I choose to clear any and all past lifetimes that no longer serve my highest good. And boom, just like that, just by using words. And yes, it does take space and time to use words and say the words. Maybe you want to write the words down, and that takes physical effort, right? But you don't have to. You just have to know what you want, speak it into existence, even though you don't have to speak it at all because it's a vibration. Feel it, experience it into existence, and then it's there. And then it happens. If you don't believe that it can happen, it won't happen. So it's the belief of the infinity of this universe that we always have to stand within. In order to be in a place in your reality where you're believing the infiniteness of this universe and that anything is possible. So anytime you're like, you know what, I want a new car, but I want a new car for free. You know what? I believe in the infinite possibilities of the universe. Therefore, if I ask for a free car, a brand new car, that is free completely. If that's what I ask, I believe that it is possible to happen. And when you do that, all of a sudden, hey, you won a lottery. Didn't think I, put a ticket in for a lottery. Yeah, someone, your brother put it under your name and you've won a free car. Can you imagine that? The only thing for us to get from where we are now, which is stuck and navigating the third dimensional reality frequency, okay, to where we want to be, which is no need to navigate because we're just experiencing the infiniteness of this entire universe from an objective perspective. Anything is possible in this reality. What is possible in this reality is only possible because you believe that it is or is not possible. The only thing that we need to do to get from here, limitation, to here, infinite expansion, is really, truly letting go of any and all beliefs that you have. And that includes within spirituality. Anytime you say, I believe, you're limiting yourself. I believe that I am powerful enough to pass my sociology exam. Great, that's a very positive statement. But you're also limiting yourself in that moment by saying, I believe that I'm only prepared to pass my sociology exam and I'll probably fail the, economy or economic exam or whatever, right? You're limiting yourself by focusing on just one thing. The only belief that we need to have to be infinite beings is the belief in the infinite. Does that make sense? I don't know how we even got here, but this is great. Now, what I've really, really, really been focused on in my own life navigating is belief in the infinite. It's so important, right? Anything is possible. And I have no belief in how the things are possible, because I do not subscribe to the limitations of this third dimension reality. It's fantastic. It's a very freeing place to be in general. So, if you were to truly believe in the infinite, then you also have to, and this is what I'm learning right now, how to fully believe in nothingness. Because within infinite possibilities, probabilities, opportunities, conversations, whatever, within the infinite of the universe, nothingness is within that infinity. So you think of an infinite amount of numbers, and we're going like +1, +2, +3, but also -1, -2, -3. Within the infinite amount of numbers, there's always the possibility also of zero, of nothing itself. The opposite of infinity is nothing. And sometimes what I've learned is we can actually go faster to infinity, which is understanding everything in all of the capacity, which is impossible as well as a human being and as many other incarnated souls here. Really, I think, honestly, only pure source fully understands infinity. I think also only pure source fully understands nothingness. And definitely one of the questions that always comes up is, why do we forget? Why do we forget all of our memories? Wouldn't it be just so much easier for us to remember who we were, to remember our lessons, to remember our challenges and struggles so that we don't have to go through that again? Yes, absolutely. But also, coming into this reality with nothing, it ziplines us to the everything that much faster. And the beautiful part about stepping in with nothing is you already have it all. All you have to do is remember that you have access to everything through your awareness of having nothing at all. I have no memory. I have nothing in this moment but my belief in reincarnation, which means that you have, through your nothingness, through your lack of memory, you have a doorway to your memory. You have a belief in reincarnation. You know something's out there, but you don't have it. So you go on the search to find it. You go on the search to step into infinity. And when you begin to step into infinity and all possibilities and feel the overwhelm of all possibilities, you go back to understanding nothingness. And how beautiful it is for you to exit out every single possibility, every single experience that you could have in this now moment, and only focus on one thing. Maybe you're only focused on the song that you're listening to, or you're only focused on a video that I just put out, or you're only focused on the plant that's in front of you, or your animal at home, or, the love of your life in front of you. You're only focused on that one thing. In that moment, you choose to be ignorant. And I know it's a harsh word, but I've been really working with the power of ignorance. With the power of ignorance, in order to be consciously aware of stepping into ignorance, you need to be okay with stepping into nothingness. I don't know what's about to happen. I'm aware of the fact that I don't know what's about to happen. And through my awareness of not knowing what's about to happen, I'm okay with that. I accept that. And through the acceptance of not knowing, through the acceptance of ignorance, through the acceptance of the nothingness, that's when we step into the everything. That's when it's truly all possible. It is just such a wild concept. And, I know I went on a little bit of a navigation rant, but these are the videos that really pump me up. These are the videos that really get me excited, without a list of things to talk about, without needing to tap into the current collective. Why can't I always be a doorway to the collective? Why do I have to only be a doorway on Mondays, right? So, yeah, spirituality is changing. All of the practices that require space and time are soon and at rapid pace no longer going to need to exist. And what is required of you as a sole creator of your reality to step in to this infinite creation of all that is your belief that you can do that. If you believe that you can only access your guides through your pendulum, then you will only ever be able to access them through your pendulum. If you believe that you can access your guides at any time, anywhere that you are, doing any number of things that you do throughout your day, guess what? You're going to access them at any time, doing any number of things. Stop limiting yourself. Stop putting conditions on your experience and understand that anything is possible. We do not need rituals. We don't need beliefs. We don't need affirmations even to get to where we want to go. All we need is to step into the infinity of the universe. Thanks, guys. I will be putting this up on YouTube. Bye for now.